So now we understand more and more the forces in which have been governing our country in our ways. Whether it's the right or whether it's the left, it doesn't matter now. Because the right and the left should have done something. If the right was all about freedom and this and that, then they would have done something about it a long time ago. Being the infiltration over the years into the Republican Party and the affiliation of them, taking the money, bribes, and all types of corrupt shit going on in our government, the demon Democrats have been able to overpower the Republican strength and power. The Republicans need to get back if they're going to be any type of political faction. They cannot be a totalitarian type of government, Marxist and all types of different Marxist, Nazis, all types of anti-Semitic bullshit, racist shit that they're running, but in the guise of keeping it undercover to the point where they're calling other people these names, but in actuality, they are the ones that promoting it. They're the one that has been actually doing it. In many ways, we see many secret societies and many groups have found these loopholes and these bent holes that they can hide in and do their shit right in our face, have even pavilions or whatever with big ass idols that they go and worship, and sacrifice children and all kinds of different nonsense that's going on under the table. We have to start looking at the government. Now, when you look at the Gaza Strip and many of what's going on there, this is a prime example of what they did to the black people that were there hundreds of millions of years before them. They ceased to want to be some kind of fake ass God, so they have to destroy the actual evidence that would prove that they are full of shit. They're full of shit. They have been lying to you, and they have been coercing your mind using scriptural so-called books. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the only place that you're going to see God, and that's the only place that they're going to see it, except for in their different machines that they build, like the one they built under that guy who was in a wheelchair. And the other guy helped build this machine that actually can trap black matter. So, you know what I'm saying? They've been building machines and doing shit. That's the only time they're going to see any kind of understanding of it. You know what I'm saying? But then when they see it, they're not going to want to even deal with it because it's going to be too much. And what they see coming forward is going to definitely rock their world. But at the same time, the regular people, when we speak about the Gaza Strip, what's going on in the Gaza Strip was something set up years ago. You know the story. You know the occupation. You know it was the Muslims. You know it was the French. You know it was Britain. You know it was even the United States crooked leaders involved, because if that was the case, then Gaza would not have gone through this over 75 years. Now, when we look at the other side, we see the Muslims and so forth and the different groups. Every time you turn around, it's Hamas, it's this group, it's that group, and then they come in with dictatorship over the regular people as well. So the regular people aren't the ones that should not be the ones getting murdered and killed over this. They should be the ones that are being helped by all means, because whether they like it or not, whether we like it or not, they are caught in a bad spot. Same spot black people found themselves in America once the Europeans came in and invaded the land, and then called themselves even, discriminating, doing slavery, choosing the ones they want, and, to work with them and different that, and causing conflict. They even did it amongst the native people we call so-called Indians that have stringy hair like them. They did the same thing to them. They came in and then they started using one against the other because one group hated the other group, and then I guess they had a little conflict going on. So what they would come in and do is they would side with the crooked sucker on the other Indian, the crooked Indian on the other side, whether it's the Apache or whether is the Cherokee, and then at the same time using that as an example, you know what I'm saying, and they would corrupt and give guns and shit to the Cherokee, you know what I'm saying, over the Apache, and stuff like that. And then they'll go on the other side and do the same thing, and next thing you know, they're warring against each other while they're sitting in the middle or sitting on one side directing the fight as to them to kill each other. Same thing we see today. Now, when you look at the Gaza Strip, it's the same thing. If America really cared about the people in Gaza, then why did you let a fake-ass invasion come in under the guise of you thinking many years would pass and people would actually believe that is a state or any kind of heritage or indigenously to the land. When you look at the documentary that was put up that I showed, if you go look it up yourself, you would see where it was a complete invasion by all groups: the Arabs, the French, the British, and the United States, and probably other groups as well, helping these people, these Zionist beasts, such as Rockefeller and Rothschilds and them, to set up this group in Africa, in Egypt, to validate a scripture that was not true to begin with, giving them the right now to sit in there and you to have mercy, saying that they're God's chosen people. See the psychology trying to tell you something in a truth, in a non-truthful form, to try to do an hypothesis and make it true. That's not going to work. You know what I'm saying? The people of today must stand up, stand strong, and understand what is going on with these people. You know what I'm saying? These are no more than corporate people or people who think that they have more power, you know what I'm saying? And they're using their power to corrupt the people in all shapes and form. Why would Obama say some bullshit that if you put out all kind of propaganda information and all kind of protests and all kinds of different things and all that, people confused, and you know, all the information you put out, all kinds of information, to the point where their brains is confused as to how to think straight. This is what they have been doing all along. The demon Democrats have been doing this kind of corrupt shit for years, especially against the black people, the original people of the planet Earth. You know what I'm saying? So what you think they're going to do to you? We tried to tell people years ago that this will take place where they will even come up against you, their own people, and assassinate and kill you because they're not on the side in which you think that you are. You know what I'm saying? So when we look at Gaza and the different stuff that's going on, we must help the Palestinian people and all oppressed people, as Malcolm X has said, and Martin Luther King, and many civil rights leaders, and many leaders of true civil rightness. You know what I'm saying? We must help the people of the world to heal this shit. There is no way that America should be on the side of a tyrant group of invaders in the plot of the invasion in itself to begin with. You should not be siding with them. This is how you know our government is completely in the wrong direction, and it needs a cleaning out. Because if this was the case, America would be showing peace over standing to the world. And when oppression comes down, we would be there to moderate and make sure that the people, the regular people, the general public is not being slaughtered by these different tyrants and fucking murderous, bloodthirsty groups. You know what I'm saying? We would be there to make sure that that doesn't happen, and be there to be there as a peacemaker in the country to settle the country back to its normality and its tranquility. Is they doing that in the Gaza Strip? Have they ever done that in the Gaza Strip? They have never went there, because this is the same Zionist group that is a part of all the group in the secret society bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So when you think that you're going to be able to do it, notice the different power that they're bringing down on your neck in the protest based on the actual what we see, like the gentlemen have said. If you continue to allow them to do that, then when it comes to the Article 2.13 and all this different shit, you know, then look it up, you know what I'm saying? What you think they're going to do? Or is a protest against, you know, killing of somebody, or a protest against something? What do you think they're going to do? You know what I'm saying? If you notice, when it came to George Floyd, a lot of it was allowed to fly all the way down to smash and grab, because a lot of it was an orchestrated group in order to get you to move. And that's what they did. They created a Black Lives Matter, you know what I'm saying? They killed black men who may have been doing not the right thing all the way through, but either way, they didn't deserve to die. And they didn't deserve it to get their neck broken with somebody's knee on their neck if you a peace officer, you know what I'm saying, and so forth on. You know what I mean? But look at what they did. And then Obama gets on TV and he ramps it up, saying the police this and the police that, because that's when they wanted to come down with to bring in the other confusion called defund the police. So he was able to spark that off in the confusional garbage that he say they put out, all the information and different garbage, and confuse your brain, because then you didn't know what to think. So this is why he said that. He got up there and he was a part of that orchestration. He's no more than a devil worships, blood-sucking, thirsty, drinking blood, pedophilia, whatever you want to call it, monster. He needs to be removed, and he should not be in our government having anything to say. You done did your shitty garbage and think that it's just going to slide away. You know what I'm saying? Same thing go for Creed Biden. If you look up the historical of Creed Biden, you would see that many years, even before he was a vice president, the garbage he was involved with. He was involved in the orchestration, using his ass to put the Gaza Strip in there. I mean, the so-called invasion of Israel and many other groups, they have all worked together. If you listen to the documentary, you see where they all collaborate to go into Africa, enslave the people, kill the people. You know, say whether it was the Ottoman Turks, whether it was Mussolini, whether it was, you know what I'm saying, the British, the French, Belgium, all of them, you know what I'm saying, to go in there and kill off the people, drive them off the land, out of their own ancestors' homeland, which was built by their blood and sweat and God, to go in there and take it over and then create a religion, you know what I'm saying, some kind of religion or some kind of witchcraft bullshit they call the Holy Bible, and then put in that Bible that they are the chosen people and they are God's people. So now when they go and kill and murder people under this banner, you know what I'm saying, everybody say, oh, well, that's just, you know, they're picking on God's people so they get what they deserve. But that's not the way, and that's not the truth. That is a lie. They are not God's chosen people. They might be gypsies or Kazakhs or some kind of Nordics or something, but they're not what they say they are. We know that through the documentary and the truth of the matter in which is said. So now, as the people of the world is waking up to the different factions that's inside your government right here in the United States, you need to start to take a hard, long, deep look. White, black, and all that are born here in America, a hard, long look into the government and what they are doing and have been doing over the years. You could clearly go back and see what it is they did to the black people. Why are the black people the most hated people on the planet Earth? Why are the black people always being picked on and killed off? Why is the black people always in the bad situations, and stuff are put into our neighborhood to influence our brains so we don't be successful and we could very easily go astray? You know what I'm saying? Why is it not educating? Why is it not building? Why did you destroy Black Wall Street? You know what I'm saying? All these are factions of the same tyrant government. Just because it was being done to the original people of the planet Earth, the black people, don't mean they wasn't doing it to theirs as well. And this is where white people need to now wake up past the bullshit in their fucking brain. You know what I'm saying? You think they ain't gonna do it to you? How many years we spent telling you that they would do the same to you one day? You know what I'm saying? Now you're beginning to see it for yourself. Now if you go along right with what's going on, then fine for you. But we cannot stand by as people of planet Earth and watch people be murdered off. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's Gaza, Africa, wherever, we must stand up for the innocent people and the regular people of the world. It is sad to see how the government in all these different 34 nations, you call the criminal organization called NATO, was able to even corrupt the minds of their own people using this God theory. You know what I'm saying? Something you will only see in a book. You know what I'm saying? Because if God was, and they were the chosen people, and all this different shit they talking about, always talking about God is coming back. God, if God coming back, he gonna come back on his own. It ain't got nothing to do with what they say and they think that they're doing. It is not so. You know what I'm saying? So the God that they're looking for is not even real, nor does he exist. But in the same factor, they had to create an hypothesis to create a fake man into a mortal man or a mortal God. You know what I'm saying? So you got to understand the different factions and how they got your mind to do that. Second thing on top of that, they have to make sure that they kill off many generations of people, you know what I'm saying, especially black people who can tell the truth. Many black people who know the truth. Many white people who know the facts. Many white people who know the truth. You know what I'm saying? They have to eliminate them, whether it's in the Arab country or whether it's a guy that, you know, is a true right guy and he's probably living in Pakistan or he might be living in India or he might be living in South Asia, and he stands up and he starts this fight, same as we're doing right now. You think they're not going to assassinate that man and put him in jail and beat him down? You know what I'm saying? All in the same factions of the government in which they are involved with and the criminal organization you call NATO. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it doesn't matter if you're right or the left, but we have to come to some kind of understanding that they are corrupted in all ways.
Speech that they view as unpopular, or scholarship that they view as unpopular, or scholarship or speech that may place their jobs in jeopardy if the governor doesn't like it, that's a risk to the brand of the corporation. That's how they view it. They don't think about, oh, the university is a place where students should learn to engage with the important questions of our time. When you view it through that lens, as I do as a faculty member, seeing students protesting around an issue of morality and an issue of ethical investment, that's a dream come true for any professor who really has thought about the value and the meaning of a university. So we view it very differently from these people in administration, and I think that that's true not only at Stony Brook, but unfortunately it's increasingly true across the country at universities.
And to provide for the acceptance, or to provide for the implanting that within the DNA of the population, let's start at the lower level and start banning books. And let's start regulating the school boards in authoritarian ways.
Well, what do you think
we see it here in our own immediate neighborhood.
Yeah.
Why do you think
And
they
all
have
these
so many
factors are coming together
inquisitions?
in an international effort to impose authoritarian rule on people.
Who gave them the right to do
And,
that?
and from that standpoint, the management is being carried out in Gaza because the elimination of those few thousand people means nothing.
Constantine
the system.
burning all the books.
And unfortunately,
Constantine
the
burning
nature
all
of the
the
system
books.
and the nature of the education service is to turn out Ollies and Cottons, those people who come out of the best institutions of the world, who learn to be cogs in this wheel, as the wharves, I'm told, that are being built out into the Mediterranean theoretically to import goods necessary are really there to evacuate those few remaining, while the son-in-law scours the coastline in order to find out the most suitable properties, which when the land reaches that point will be much in demand for the elites that remain. It's quite a devastating situation.
That is. But it's quite remarkable how youth resist that kind of indoctrination. We're seeing it all over the country, despite all of the efforts that those who wield power in society have made to corporatize
You mean
everyone's
brutality,
thinking.
not power.
Young people
Brutality.
aren't having it.
They're not having it, man. I know. Look,
Beastly brutality.
we the adults are like Gulliver the giant. We've been sufficiently lashed down by the mighty forces, the little mighty forces of those who would tie us into it, but they're breaking those strands.
Yeah, they are. And when you think about the history of student protest in this country, have they ever been wrong?
No, they haven't been wrong. Listen, out of the mouths of babes, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think we could go on. We could. Another thing, I'm out of the hospital.
Yeah.
Now, what he just said is true about the corporations. This is something that's been going on a long time ago. You know what I'm saying? In the privatizing of jobs and even many things that have took place over the years. You know what I'm saying? If people were asked a simple question as to why is it everything that is made outside of our country, you barely see anything marked made in the USA. Look at all the labels on the foods, the labels on many different things is coming from other countries. You know what I'm saying? America is outsourcing all the different high-paying jobs. Many different corporations had moved years ago, even back in the 70s, and all going over there to China. And next thing you know, everything coming in the 80s and the 90s is marked made in China. So they paid back these people to build one of the greatest militaries in their country. You know what I'm saying? China and many other countries, they paid them back. And look at what they did. They built a mighty military and got nuclear weapons and the whole 9 yards. So we know the garbage and the trickery amongst many things. But one thing people got to ask the question is what Donald Trump said during the election. that he was going to try to bring back many of the corporations, which we know would be one hard thing to do, bring back many of the corporations and the many factories and different things back to the United States. You know what I'm saying? When they was allowed to take America's business and put it into the hands of other people, other countries, and now everything we get, clothes, drawers. Like I said, we can't even make a decent pair of underwear say made in the USA no more. You know what I'm saying? And many other different things, even cars, everything made in China, made in China, made in China, made in Japan, made in Indonesia, made here, made there. And the American people businesses is just failing right along the boat line ship. So we have to start to look at this from a better perspective, especially when it comes to the oppression across the planet Earth. This is not done by regular people. It's done by design. You know what I'm saying? So we need to start to wake up to that design. This is Point Black 1.